seeds. How are you this week, this midweek in June? It's Giving Mystical. This is me, Kirsten, and we are going to do a mini episode on the energy of the week. I pulled a card for all of us. I just want to check in before I even tell you what the tea is for this week. Let me know how June is sitting with you. Remember, recall, lean back into the idea that June is about refining your choices. It's about setting yourself up to become, to embody, to inhabit the life that you dream of. These things take time. I don't know about you guys, but I can be impatient around that. There's something about the consistent practice of choosing to move and be and speak and act in accordance with this life you are creating. I think that happens in really small moments and it happens in big moments, but it usually happens when we are aware of our pacing and we are present in the moment. So just a reminder that breath is your friend. You have all the right in the world to pause. You never, ever, ever need to respond from a place of urgency. So when we talk about pausing, taking a breath, we're thinking about when our head gets clouded, when our nervous system has a reaction that encourages us to lean forward, encourages us to fix this because it feels like life or death. And in those moments, it can be so incredibly hard to pause. It can sound like such a simple thing, right? You and I listening to this podcast, sitting here over the mic talking, it's like, oh yeah, I'll pause, I'll take a breath. In the moments when you really, really need to do that, it can feel impossible. Have grace with yourself, have patience with yourself. And I will tell you that noticing where you hold your breath, noticing where you lean in, noticing where you move from reactivity is as much a blessing and a lesson as are the moments where you remember to pause, where you remember to breathe, where you remember to ground yourself and move from that place. That circles back to this idea that there are no bad choices. There are no wrong movements. The concept of right and wrong choices implies that there is a place to arrive to. Maybe I am the first person to say this to you, but I will say it again, or I will say it for the first time. There is no arrival. There's no place to get to where you arrive and you say, okay, good, done, seen. That's not living. That's not living. Living is the constant unfolding, and it is the constant becoming, and it is the journey. And that can sound so trite and so silly, but it's the truth. For myself, personally, when I was younger, I thought I could arrive someplace. I thought I could do the things and line up a life where I could feel safe and I could feel like I was enough and I could rest and I could be. And the learning that I've found, the experience of my life, has been that there's always a new reality unfolding, and my job is to find the peace and the safety and the joy and the grace and the love here now as it unfolds. And then I find it again, and then I find it again. And that can sound like work, but it's not. It's like a leaning back and a blossoming into satisfaction with this is enough. I'm enough. And I can be with whatever the world brings me, and I know I'm okay because I'm here. And that's a very different way of feeling the world than if I make the right choice, I will arrive at the right place. You know, think about that. What if it's all an unfolding? Then maybe there's some distinction between making right choices, making wrong choices, and just learning, just choosing to learn, choosing to become more aware, choosing to get more information, choosing to learn more about who you are and how the world co-creates with you. A little bit of a preamble, but I offer that to you because June is an interesting time, and we are standing on these crossroads, and we are leaning our hearts towards a new level of becoming and unfolding, and sometimes we need encouragement. Sometimes we keep going. You got this. There's a plan. It's all right. It makes sense. There is a harmony to your life, to the world, to the universe, to how we are all jamming and dancing together. Speaking of, the card I pulled for us this week is the Ace of Pentacles. It's beautiful. So we had the Ace of Cups, we have the Hermit in reverse, talking about re-entry, and now we have the Ace of Pentacles. At its most basic, the Ace of Pentacles is, as we've said before, a gift from Source, a gift from the universe, a way in which something real shows up in your life. It lands in your hand, in your lap, in your world, and it's like, this is a new way of feeling earth energy. This is a new dynamic, a new experience of earth energy. This is a new experience of what the world can be, how the world can be, how dreams and ideas and yearnings and wishes can actually take shape. It takes shape in the form of this pentacle, this real touchable thing that lands in our world. Pentacles, as you may know, or as you may have gathered from what I just said, are about earth energy. So aces are a gift, pentacles are earth energy, and it arrives here in our life. So this week, something new arrives, and I just love this like trajectory. I really do love this, the way that we track cards over time together, track this journey together, co-collaborate this journey together, because the Ace of Cups is like, oh my God, my heart has expanded. My heart grew two sizes that day, right? Was that from the Grinch? 3 sizes that day. Your heart expands and grows, and you feel this new experience, this new capacity, this new fullness of love that you haven't experienced before. The Hermit says, okay, now you're going to re-enter the world with this new learning, this new feeling, this new bodily experience of love, this new energetic experience of love. You're going to turn towards the world and re-enter from this place. And then the Ace of Pentacles drops in as like, let me show you what that does. Let me show you what that means. Let me show you what that feels like in the real world. That is an awesome little stretch for us. But when I put my hands on this card, I had this sense of like a treasure hunt. Like I had this sense of these little pearls that are being dropped for you over this next week. Maybe it's a pearl, maybe it's a dozen, maybe it's the beginning of this kind of scavenger hunt or treasure hunt towards, again, something you are creating, something you are aligning to energetically, vibrationally, and very much something new. The Ace of Pentacles is a gift always. I mentioned this on the Ace of Cups podcast a couple weeks ago, but I'll say it again. The Ace of Pentacles is truly a seed. So it can be a very big thing. It's not about how big or small the thing is. But understand whether it's something tiny or whether it's something, enormous and remarkable, it's only the beginning. So have a sense that whatever this thing is that lands in your life, whatever this thing is that shows up in your life, whatever this, and I really do feel it like the beginning of a treasure hunt. I don't know why that energy's coming through. It's never come through for Ace of Pentacles before, but I feel it pretty strongly. Like this is the first clue. And remember that it is a seed. And so it takes your awareness, it takes your attention, it takes your energy nurturing it and feeding it and giving it light and water and saying, oh yeah, this is something precious to me. This is something I would like to grow. I would like to spend time with. I would like to watch it blossom. And so notice that whether this thing is a small thing or a big thing that's showing up in your life, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. That feels really beautiful. And the other message that came through when I was kind of holding the card and sitting with the card is open your eyes. Open your eyes. And that is a call to presence. That is a call to mindfulness and awareness and being here now. But it's also a call to play. It's a call to play with the universe. It's a call to not just widen your awareness, but truly open your eyes. Like truly open your eyes to what's happening around you, to where you are. It's a reminder not to keep your head down. There was a little video on TikTok the other day, and then the same day I saw that, there was a note in my coffee shop. And what both of them were saying was that we have lost those like micro moments of downtime. Like we've lost those. So we used to not have our phones, right? And well, some of us, but we used to not have our phones, and we would walk through spaces and you would have to wait in line, and you would have to sit in traffic, and you would have to wait at the doctor's office, and all these like the post office. I don't know why I just thought that, but it felt like it had to be said. Maybe you're standing in line at the post office when you hear this. But this idea that like all these moments where we were in the world without agenda and really in some ways bound to like that time and place and put there with other people who are bound to the same time and place, but who otherwise we might not come across. And this guy said, and this note said, maybe we can reclaim these micro moments. What would happen if we reclaimed these micro moments? What would happen if we allowed these kind of small moments of decompression, these small moments of boredom, of aimlessness, if we kind of took those back for ourselves? Because as much as that can feel tedious, when your eyes are open, when you're looking up and your head is up and you're leaned back and you're in those moments, funny things happen all the time. Like, the world is just a funny, weird, curious place. People are funny, weird, and curious as well. And if you are standing in line or just cruising around, or you have these downtime, like, funny things happen. Like, you notice little snippets of conversation, or you notice someone's like funny behavior, or a little micro moment that can pass between two people, and you can imagine a whole scenario around that. My children and I were doing like paint your own pottery the other day, and this couple near us was like on a first date, and it was so sweet and awkward and human, and we were all just like so entranced by this little like vignette unfolding. And that was actually a perfect moment of this. Our hands were busy, but we were having conversation, but it was kind of sporadic. And so our awareness was open to all these little things happening in the pottery studio, like this couple on their first date, like these mothers and their daughters and the interactions they were having, like the dynamics between the people who worked in the space. And it was curious and interesting, and just a moment of human living. So the energy of this week is saying, open your eyes, be in the world, grab back, take back these micro moments of life and humanity and living. Because we can get tangled in the dramas of our own life, right? We can get tangled in the things that we desire, the things that we want to move away from. We can get really caught up in that. And those micro moments of kind of, they call them like secondary, there's some word for it that came out of COVID. There's some term for those interactions you have that, not that they're meaningless, but there's no like skin in the game. They're just kind of these like human interactions, like with your mailman, or with, again, like the post office is really making a play in the weekly the podcast. Oh my God, I've been so sick, I'm sorry. My brain is a little all over the place. But this idea that if we can reclaim these micro moments, they just add more spaciousness to our days. They add more humor to our days. They add more humanity to our days. And something about that feels really important. And it feels very tied to this idea of a treasure hunt. Like, if you were to open your eyes and you were to be here now, and you were to be more present in the world in kind of these very gentle, easy ways, what could you gather from that? What kind of pleasure could come from that? What story could you gather? What creative like juiciness could you squeeze from that moment? That feels very relevant for this Ace of Pentacles week. And then add that to this idea of a treasure hunt. So if you're there and all of these like experiences happen that normally maybe wouldn't have happened if you hadn't waited in line, or if you had been looking at your phone, or if you had been otherwise, distracted or caught up in your own little universe. If you expand out into the other universe, like the hermit said last week, if you re-enter and then you imagine that the universe is playing a game with you, playing a treasure hunt with you, what might happen? It's really fun energy. It feels very playful. It feels very rich with possibility. I have something in my own life that I'm working, and I'm doing that thing that I know better than to do, but I'm still doing it, where I'm kind of coming to the cards, coming to my tools and asking this question, even though I know what the answer to the question is. The energy I keep getting back from the universe is like, freaking chill out and let us surprise you. Let us spoil you with this. I know that to be right, and I'm still like a little kid, like anxious, like, oh, come on. And so let the universe have its way with you this week. Let it surprise you and delight you and drop these little pearls of the beginning of a treasure hunt. Drop these little seeds of possibility in your life and see what happens. Again, see what happens if you lean back, open your eyes, pay attention to what's happening around you, and just notice what might emerge. I think that it has been such a difficult few years, truly, for so many of us, that we're a little gun shy. Man, if I open my eyes, if I open my awareness, it might be too much. It might just be too much. And I would ask you this week to, again, I asked you last week, but again this week, be brave. Like, let's try it. Let's experiment in ways that feel safe and good. just to open your eyes, just to make a little more eye contact, just to open your ears to conversations and energies around you, and just see what happens. See if those things can feed you versus deplete you. I'm just curious. I feel like there's a little bit of a dynamic shift here that might surprise you and delight you. And that's awesome. So Ace of Pentacles, it's precious and it's real and solid, but also delicate. So open your hands and open your eyes to the possibility this week that the world wants to delight you, that other people want to delight you. And let's see what happens. Ooh, let's just all find something to giggle about this week and enjoy a little bit more and reclaim these micro moments of peace and decompression and allowing your awareness to kind of just turn off and widen and diffuse, and you don't need to be on all the time. And those micro moments let you see that, let you experience that. Yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy that. It feels really good in my body. I hope it can feel as good to you this week. Sending you so much love, and may the seeds, the blessings, the clues to beauty and wonder and delight just rain down upon you and me and all of life this week. All right, check you later. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.